negotiating strategies to close more sales. That's this week on An Intentional Business Life. Hi guys, welcome to An Intentional Business Life, where it's all about building an intentional business to make more money, so you've just got more money to go off and do those things you enjoy. And this week I'm going to share with me my top negotiating strategies that I use. As a lot of you know, I'm a contract negotiator. I go around the world, I do some pretty big deals. But these can apply no matter whether you're small, medium, large, enterprise, doesn't matter. These are the techniques that I've learned over the years that help me close multi-million-dollar deals. And they are really, really effective. But more importantly, they're really simple. And I've saved a really good one right to the end. So yeah, I know it's a bait to keep you hooked so you don't run away. But there's some really good ones in here. I actually wrote them down. I've got 9 on here. I've got 9 of my strategies. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget any for you, because nothing's worse than doing a video and then you go, oh, I forgot to say that. So, hey, it happens to the best of us. So let's get going. Negotiating strategies to help you close more sales. All about getting more money in your pocket. That's what we're on about. Okay, number 1. Before you do anything, before you start presenting products or services or anything like that, or yakking about yourself, it is a connection. You've got to build a connection. You know, I do this. Oh, sorry guys, just look at these things here. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at him. Love him. There's another one. Hello, mate. Make him a YouTube star. I do love coming down here in the morning, the sights you see. Okay, so it's all about connection. So what do I mean about that? Well, you don't just go leaping straight into talk about business. You know, I think I mentioned once before, I talked to someone from Sweden one time, and the first thing he leapt into was his PowerPoint presentation that crashed and went wrong, and look, it does happen. And he was so frustrated and so upset, and I was like, mate, it doesn't matter. We don't even know each other, and you're trying to sell me something. How about we connect first? And what I mean by that is, talk about them. Ask them what position they hold in the company, how long they've been there, what are their hobbies. Talk about yourself, some personal information. Married, got kids, got grandkids, and then show them pictures. A great thing when I'm in China and doing deals in China, they love to go out for meals, and around the table you can pull out your phone, show your family photos, talk about your hobbies, get them talking about their stuff as well. Get that personal connection. That's the very first thing. And look, if you can't connect with them, I really would be questioning whether I should be continuing with them. Because what you're trying to build is a really solid business relationship, one that is built on a very strong foundation. That very strong foundation is connection. So think about that first before you do anything else. And what that helps you, that helps you go into step number 2, which is to make them feel significant. So what do I mean by this? If you can open somebody up and get them talking about their personal lives, something personal, their hobby, their families, whatever, you can start to open them up to talk about how long they've worked in the company, what their position in the company is. And you can start to ask them questions, this is what we're talking about. Have you formed any ideas yourself? Have you done this before? If you were doing this, what's a couple of key points you think would be really important for us to consider? What you're doing is giving everyone at the table credibility for being there. And I often say, that I started to tell once, there's 15 or 16 people around this table. So it does take a little bit of time, but I'm never in a rush. I'm never in a rush. I'm never in a rush to close the deal. I'm in a rush, if anything, to form those connections properly and then get everyone contributing to the solution. Now, I know a lot of people, when they go to negotiate, they go with preset plans, pre-ideas, this is what I want, and you don't give anyone any wiggle room. And that's really bad. You know, when you're doing a negotiation of any sort, whether you're doing sales, you know, whether you're talking to, you know, people in the workplace, you know, a new change you want to implement, it doesn't matter. What you should be doing is leaving wiggle room in there for other people to contribute their ideas, and give yourself enough wiggle room in there to incorporate their ideas in the end solution. So when I'm in a negotiation, I take pen and paper. You know, I'm not a laptop, iPad guy. I think that can raise suspicion. Look, a lot of deals I go to, you can't take electronic stuff into the room anyway. You know, phones and laptops and iPads are all left outside. So I guess it's just become natural for me to have a notebook and a pen and a paper. I do get asked that sometimes, you know, don't you use, you know, what is that thing, Remarkable, or, you know, an iPad, you know, you can write with your finger on, you can get a tablet, you know, it's like, I know you can, but a lot of the things I go to, they're just not allowed in the room. And I don't know, there's something tactile about writing things down anyway. And people can actually see what you're doing and see the notes that you're writing. So nothing's hidden. You don't want any suspicion coming up. You don't want going, oh, what's he got on there? Has he got a record happening on there? You know, just normal pen and paper. Get yourself a really nice book, you know, a leather-bound book so it looks professional. A lovely pen. I always carry two in case one runs out. But yeah, so making people feel significant is asking them their opinion. And it's not a list. I'm not going through a whole list here. I do this, then that, then that. It's muddled up throughout the whole negotiation. I'll go backwards and forwards and jumble the whole thing up. But if you've got these 9 steps basically, and you get good at them, you can muddle them up and make it sound really, really natural. So give yourself some wiggle room for other people's suggestions to be incorporated in the final solution for the sale. Very, very important that. You know, as someone said, why do you do it in retail? Payment plans. You know, if you were buying this, what's your preference? Is it cash? Is it credit card? You know, have you thought about putting it on a interest-free finance plan? We have our own in stores, things like that. You know, what's your preference for buying? Let them tell you what their preference is. Oh, we could do that for you. Let them contribute, and then show them that part of their messaging or what they've said has been incorporated in the final solution for the negotiation. So that's about making people feel significant. And I say it's not a linear line. You mix it up as you go, and you get better at it. I also include their words and their language that they use. I think this is really important, that you do use the words and the language that they use. You'll really quickly pick it up. And I think this is beneficial when you write things down as they say them, and you write the word, the important word that they've used down. It'll stick in your mind a little bit easier. Sometimes I even put those words myself in block letters on the pad, so that I can just glance down at my pad and remind myself of some of the key words that the people are using. And this is really important, you know, especially when you're in foreign countries, you know, you're in China, you're in Vietnam, you know, you go to India, you know, Sweden. They do use slightly different language to my Australian colloquialism. So I like to repeat it back as they say it, because then they get it. That's how they hear it. Remember, in foreign countries, they're actually converting, and I can't speak foreign languages, so not very well anyway. So they have to convert from their language to English, and in doing that, it always comes out a little bit differently. So you repeat it back a little bit differently. Don't feel funny about that. It actually relaxes them. Oh, check this out, guys. Oh, I think I've shown you this 51 catamaran before. This is absolutely a dream. Look at this thing. Now, I'm a catamaran fan myself. I like sailing catamarans. This is a Parrot catamaran, but a 51 Leopard, very, very nice. I believe Leopards come from South Africa. Lovely, lovely boat building. The quality on that is absolutely sensational. Okay. What we're going to do now is, oh, the wind's just blowing my notepad around, guys, sorry. Okay, so negotiation. It doesn't matter what you're doing. What is going to be the disruption to their day, to their week, to their normal operation of business. You know, and I was thinking about, you know, negotiation tactics for a new change management system we're going to come in, or we're going to do something slightly different at work. You know, what's the disruption going to be? You know, we've got a major contract. What's the disruption going to be in their office? You know, it's one of them things. Whenever there's a new sale, there's always going to be disruption. Some people don't like using that word, but it's very, very powerful to think about it. So you think in these terms. Words are really, really important, and they really make you see the importance of this. What you've got to do is minimize that disruption. So once you use the word disruption, you think, oh, well, that disrupts some. You think, see, some people just go, well, they're getting the deal, they're going to be happy. Well, some people are and some people aren't. Some people go, oh, no, not another God. Oh, God, these things are so hard. You don't want that. So let's think in the terms of disruption to their business, what it will do to them, and then let's minimize that. So what you're trying to do is smooth out the edges. You're trying to make the process really, really simple for them. And alongside that, you're also pushing in the massive upside. So before you go into a negotiation, you've got to know the massive upside for this particular person, whether it is employees at work, or whether it is, you know, buying, you know, selling somebody a car, or whether it's negotiation for electric rail system, you know, several $100 million worth. It doesn't matter. What's the massive upside that you can bring to these people? I'm just going to walk up these steps, guys, so make sure I don't fall over as we go up that. So minimize the disruption, and always talk about the massive upside. Now, my step number 5, what I've got here is what we're talking about is an attitude here. And I think this attitude is really, really important. See, I never really think of myself as negotiating, as selling, any of that stuff. I always think of the whole process as a collaboration. So I'm going to collaborate with you. I suppose it's coming back to that win-win that we often hear talked about. But my attitude, it's going to be a collaboration. We are going to collaborate on this and together form the solution, together both have massive upsides, and together have minimum disruptions along the way that we're going to do it. That's what it's all about. So an attitude of collaboration, that's why I like to go to dinner. That's why a lot of these countries that you go to, they'll take you out for lunch. You know, there's nothing wrong. Why do a formal meeting at work if you want to install a new system? Why not throw on a lunch? Why not just put some, I don't know, I don't want to do branding, but why not just put some Subway rolls or some sandwiches and a few drinks and say, guys, we've got a new system coming in, but I just want everyone's opinion. Look, let's do it over lunch. You will take so much pressure out of the room, and it will sound more like a collaboration. Get their opinions, write them on the whiteboard, show them how their suggestions have been incorporated in the solution. That's that wriggle room bit. So yeah, collaboration is the key here, not sales. And yeah, you got me. I'm going to turn this around. Look at this. Yes, people say, you're so lucky, Michael, living there. Yep, I am. I get to come down here. After this, I'm going to go and grab myself a coffee, sit down on one of these yachts and with a couple of mates and have a great time. So that is it. So we're going to have a collaboration. Here's something that, and I suppose it depends on what level you're doing it, but I think it works at all levels, and it is what I call, the words I use, this is really funny. This is the law about pricing and terms and conditions. You know, that really works for me because I do a lot of overseas stuff. So I say, you know, in Australia, this is the law about the pricing and terms and conditions. You know, I get no pushback on that. I use the word law and people just go, oh, it's the law. Oh, it must be, that must be it. What it allows me to do is go, this is the law on the pricing and the terms and conditions, so I can set a fair price in here and I can set my own terms and conditions. And of course I say, so what I've got to look at is how we can incorporate some of yours. Let's go through it and then just see some of your terms and conditions we can add to here so it works for both of us. You can do that no matter where you are. It's a neat little phrase, and I would really encourage you to have a look at that when you're presenting your terms and conditions. Don't just, oh, here's my terms and conditions, you know, it's in 6-point, 4-point font, you know, have good luck reading that rubbish. Don't do that. Just say, oh, you know, and this is a law about, you know, pricing and terms and conditions. I've got listed on the back. I'll highlight some of the main points for you. Let's think about some of the things you would like to see included in there. Again, that inclusion, that showing their suggestions have been included in the final solution here. But that is a really powerful statement. I know that sounds a little bit odd, but that really does work if you can present your terms and conditions by using those particular words. I mentioned this earlier about pacing yourself. Very, very important to pace yourself. Don't be in a rush to close the deal. Relax. Take as much time as you like. You know, I remember when Zappos shoes went online, and you know, they got a telemarketing company in to teach them telemarketing, and he's going, right, you got 5 seconds of this, 10 seconds of that, then you got a minute to do this, and the guy who owns Zappos, I can't remember his name now, he just went, that's nuts, mate. He said, someone walked into my shoe shop in the retail store, and he was just getting out of it because retail stores are so expensive to operate, and he wanted to go online. He goes, I wouldn't do that if someone walked in my store. I'd say spend as long as you want with them. Relax, make them feel comfortable. They're not just going to buy, it's not about that one sale there. It's not just about that one pair of shoes. He was saying, you know, it's about the 10, it's the 20, it's the special shoes for the wedding, special shoes when the kids graduate. It's the children's shoes, the husband's shoes, the family shoes, the referral shoes. All this. He goes, I'm not listening to you. And he threw the guy out and just got them to do what they would as if someone was walking in the store. Talk about the marriage, talk about what you're doing on the weekend, and all those personal connection things as well. So he really did free them up. There goes someone in a nice light aircraft. Yeah, we start with me up there today. And so pace yourself, very, very important. Here's one that I like. It does work for me because I do a lot of overseas stuff, but it'll work for you as well. Aim to start with no. I know a lot of times you get told start with yes, get all those yeses, you know, yes, and you'll better chance of, nah, don't do that. As soon as you start trying to get that off people, they know that you're trying to, you know, wrangle them into a sell. So I am always looking for a no as my starting point. Sounds a bit weird, I know. But this is what I do. You know, if I'm overseas and I'm doing it, I said, would there be any issues that you can see of building this in Australia? Or would there be any issues that you see in, you know, sending this to Australia? Let them think about it. They'll think about it in a way that is solution orientated, because obviously they want to do the deal. So they'll be saying to you no, and they'll give you an explanation of why. Now you've got some great momentum. You've actually created momentum in the deal. So in your circumstances, when you're going into this and you've done your connection, you've started making them feel significant, you're wrangling in here, start with a no. Once you start getting into the business deal, start by trying to get the word no out of them in a positive way, obviously. So you do start with that. I always use the same, you know, you're going to bring it to Australia. You know, if I'm doing the hydroponics farms here and I don't want all your nutrients going into my groundwater because we have strict rules in Australia, is that going to be a difficult solution for you to, you know, engineer for us? No, it's not, because we do, and then the momentum starts. So very, very important, that one. That is a really, it's underestimated, but definitely one I would recommend. So start with no. Step number 9, here's my biggie. This is a biggie. Be prepared to walk away. I'm serious. Be prepared to walk away if it's not working. Do your goodbyes, make it pleasant, but be prepared to walk away. Always go in with other buyers as options. I find people so desperate to make the sale. They think they're the only people on the planet willing to buy their products and services. Guys, that's just not true. You want to get into this, you want to see where it's going, you want to test the waters. You know, I talk about pacing yourself, but there has to be a time when you go, this isn't working. You're not coming to the table. What you want and what I want isn't working. Be prepared to walk away. Have other buyers, other sellers as options, whichever side of the table you're on, and do it and get up. And I've done it, you know, and it gets more difficult. I was on one deal and I think it was about 650 million was on the table for it, and I just stood up and said, guys, this isn't going anywhere. You know, where you're coming from is just not going to work for my clients. So let's, you know, shake hands, part company, understand that's how you work, but that won't work for us. Goodbye. Amazingly, that particular deal changed around. It ended up, I was saying, about 780 something million in the end. People don't like people who are strong in deals. I don't mean they dislike you as a person. It puts them on the back foot. They're just not used to people getting up and prepared to walk away. I always say, if you want to attract the right clients, be prepared to walk away from the wrong clients. That's how it works. Be prepared. They're not the only buyer on the market. Be prepared to get up and walk away. Make those decisions, stay strong. Hope you've enjoyed this one on my negotiating strategies for closing more deals and making you more money. I'll see you next time on An Intentional Business Life.